What's up guys, Setu here. I'm here presenting you with a aim drill guide video so that you can improve your aim with shooters. To start off, you have to make sure you have a good sensitivity. So the way to do this, if you don't know how, you just go into the weapon menu and then go to sensitivity in the practice range, or there are several other methods, but this is the way I'm doing it. So my sensitivity right now is on +1 and +5. +1 motion, +5 stick. That's just what I've grown to like over time, and I think it's just perfect for how my arms play and for my playstyle and everything like that. So I guess I can just help you guys determine what sensitivity works for you. So what I do is I just like do the standard like shoot, point and shoot, and then switch between targets and try to find a pattern if you're overshooting or undershooting, right? So like right now I'm pretty much perfect, but if I switch to say +4, you will notice that I overshoot everything. So yeah, that's just how you notice like if it's wrong or not. And here you'll see -5. I do not recommend doing -5 because -5, it's like not even possible to do 180. Like literally, you have to turn the whole controller around 180 almost. So I do not recommend that. Yeah, like undershoot, undershoot, undershoot. Yeah. So don't do that. I'd say the minimum should be like -3. Honestly, there are crazy people that do -5, but I don't like it at all. I'd say this range around here, like -2 to 3, is probably the best, like objectively, but that's mainly my opinion. Also, for my stick sensitivity, I have it on +5 just so that it's easier for my wrists to make adjustments, and it like adjusts quicker, if that makes sense. So like if I'm all the way over here and there's an actual person there, I can just flick the wrist and it does more than if it was a lower sensitivity. So it just more quickly helps my wrists out. So yeah, that's sensitivity. Another test I like to do for sensitivity actually is I like to do 180s. If I can reliably or like consistently do a 180 with a sensitivity, that's probably right. Or the most consistent sensitivity that you can do 180s with is probably the best one. That's just what I've found personally. So yeah, there's that. And that is sensitivities. Let's get into aim drills. So the first drill, if like you're really new to aim drills and everything, and aim, this is going to be really basic, but you just start with the reticle, and you just slowly switch between targets like this, and then you progressively speed up and add in shooting. Like, yeah, you can start slow and then you slowly speed up the more comfortable you get. Also, just to note, these aim drills, you want to be doing them like every day, 30 minutes. Like, that's the best way to improve. That's the quickest way to improve your aim. And so I definitely recommend it, but it definitely takes like personal effort. It's not a magical thing that happens overnight. So yeah, more drills. Just the regular one that I like to do. I just like this specific pattern. I go middle, top right, top left, back. That's just the pattern I personally do. You don't have to do back yet because it's kind of like a bigger adjustment and it's kind of harder to do at first. So if you want, you can just like start with the 4 and then just reset. If that's easier, I don't know. Sometimes you just gotta start easy to make sure you don't develop bad habits and stuff. So yeah, and then once you can do it stationary, I forgot to mention, you want to start stationary, right? Because that's a raw aim that you're working on. And then once you're comfortable with that, you want to start moving in with strafes, right? You want to start strafing a bit. So you can start hitting the targets consistently, right? So yeah, and if you can't do that, there's actually this drill I do that really helps with like smoothing your aim and compensating for your own movement. and I like to call it a circle drill. So what you do is you like grab the splatter shot or end zap or whatever shooter you use, and you run out of ink, and then you literally just aim at this dummy and just spin in circles around it. And you can like adjust distance between yourself and the dummy and get closer and go back and stuff. And I just like to do it. Close-up is probably the best workout for your wrists, I would say, or your aim and muscle memory. And I like to just go until like my wrist can't go further anymore, or like your wrist gets uncomfortable, I should say. And then also you can add in like jumps, and that really helps to like compensate for jump movements when you're strafing. And that's a really useful thing, and it actually like affects these like every target that you play against, like the jump aiming. Yeah, so that's really good for keeping your aim really nice and smooth and fluid and stuff. Like, you can just write your name, you can do whatever, and your aim is really nice and fluid. And it just compensates for your own individual strafing and movement, and so you can aim and do both at the same time, right? So yeah, that's compensating for your own movement. The next part is compensating for enemy movement, and that's why you move on to these moving dummies now. So what I like to do is I just like to start with the small or the slowest dummy, the slowest moving dummy. Just keep my reticle on it while sitting still, and just keep it on there. And this is like really beginner, but it's really good for core and smooth aim. And then you just want to move up to the move up speeds. So you switch to this one, right? Switch to this one. And yeah, you just do it for a while, right? Until you start feeling more and more comfortable. And you want to do these every day. It's really important that you do these every day, because habits are what improve your actual aim and muscle memory. It's all about muscle memory. Also, another way to do this drill, you can use a charger, right? You can use the splat charger, if I can find it here. You can use the splat charger, charge a full shot, and just track the enemy with the reticle, and it's really easy. Yeah, so that's literally all you do. You just track it. You don't shoot, or you can shoot like if you want to mess around or whatever, but yeah, this is really good for tracking because it's long range, which means you have to be more precise in your tracking. So yeah, that's really good. And then eventually you can move back to shooters. And then, like circle drill, you can do this thing where you run out of ink, and then you just want to keep the reticle on the targets while you're like moving around and strafing and everything, right? So yeah, that's moving enemies. The next part of aim with shooters is leading your shots. It's mainly with longer range weapons. So splatter shot pro, right? So what you want to do is like aim ahead of the target, right? Because your shots they're not hit scan. They have a velocity. So you want to figure out what distance you want to like aim ahead, and just figure out ratios in that way. So obviously the farther away the dummy is, the further ahead of you have to aim, right? All makes sense. So that's tracking. So for tracking, you just want to practice that in the range and just landing the first 3 shots on moving targets, which is really hard to perfect, honestly. But once you get it down, it's really useful if you main long range weapons. Okay. Next part, we'll just move back here because I like this area of the range better, right? This is where, like, after I've done all these things, I like to do more advanced drills, like 180s. Like, where you just turn around, do 180s, get to the other target. I like to switch between these 4 targets particularly. I feel like it really helps me. Right? I still can't do it perfectly, because it's definitely hard. But, yeah. It's really important to put movement along with your aim drills. Because if you don't have movement along with it, your movement is going to start sucking while your aim is good. And, like, you don't want to sacrifice movement for aim, obviously. It's actually a mistake I made in Splatoon 1, but other than that, it's really important. So, some of the movement drills I do along with it is, like I've been doing, just barely. I like to swim in between targets, and then just try to land the first 3 shots. And that's just what I do, usually. It's perfect because swim strafing is generally the best. Another one I like to do, I like to just swim, one shot, one shot, one shot, one shot. Just keep spamming one shot and swimming. That way you can learn how to compensate for swim strafing, rather than just, like, running. And as you can see, I'm missing a lot of them, but yeah, it's a thing that is good to do. To land, like, the first shot after coming out of me. It's really important. What else? Oh yeah, I like to, like, incorporate sub-strafing too sometimes. Just for fun, because sub-strafing is a surprisingly good warm-up. So I like to do it for warm-ups. So yeah, that has been my aim drill video guide. I hope you guys all enjoyed it. And that was just for shooters. So I'm planning on making more in the future for other weapons. So yeah, if you like the content, make sure to subscribe, leave a like. I also stream on Twitch, and I'll leave the description in the link below. But yeah, that's about it, guys. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one.